Hey guys, Kotax here. So today I will be showing you guys loops. Quick announcement, we got a new logo. So yeah, I'm quite hyped for that. But yeah, let's get started. So today as I said, we're doing if statements. So this is just a basic pseudocode for if statements, and we're gonna be coding this in Python 3. So the syntax is very similar to this. If you check for the condition and then you can perform this function. And then if you want a test for another condition, you do else if. But keep in mind, if you do a else if after a if, you're basically saying if that runs, then you're not going to check for the else if. So if you want to check for two conditions, but they're not related to each other, you might want to do if after if and not if and then else if after if. It'll make a little more sense after I'm doing it. And then else basically no condition is just if all of the actions above are deemed to be false, then perform that last function. But yeah, don't worry about that right now. So let's just create a basic first if statement. Let's create a variable called var, and I'll make it equal to test. And basically, we can write an if statement really easily. We write if the condition. So we have to use something called Boolean operators to check for for a true or false value. So some Boolean operators are equals equals, exclamation mark equals, greater than, and less than. Those are pretty much the main ones. Um, so here we're checking if var is equal to test, and we're using double equals, not single equals, because we're not assigning, we're actually checking. Um, we can print the value true. And the same way else, so basically if var equals test print true, else, so or else, print um, false. So we're gonna run this, and it printed out true because the does not var indeed equals to test. Um, and yeah, so let's just basically test if it does not equal to. So we'll use the does not equal and does not equal to code talks. So and then we'll print out. Let's kind of type along and I'll explain it. Um, and we have to write a backslash because we have to escape this character. We'll go over escape characters in another video. Um, but yeah, so what this is saying, if var does not equal code talks or whatever this value is, then do this, or else print false. So obviously this is going to be deemed to true because var does not equal to code talks, so it will say var doesn't equal to code talks. So yeah, those are pretty simple. That's like string stuff, pretty simple. Let's create a variable called number and set it to int input. And let's do uh let's do a few if statements and like a else if and kind of make like a little program here. So we'll do if number equals, let's say if it equals 7, then we'll write print I guessed your number properly. Let's say else if number equals, let's say, else if is number less than 10, we'll say print I was guessing less than 10, and then else print I have no idea what your number is. Okay, so basically we're gonna ask the user for a number, enter a number, and they're gonna enter a number, and if it equals to 7, we're gonna say, I guess your number properly. Else, if we're gonna check if it's less than 10, then we're gonna print I was guessing less than 10. And if both of these conditions are true, we'll print I have no idea what your number is. Um, enter a number. Let's say 8, and it says I'm guessing less than 10 because this deems to be false, so it moves to the next one. But this is true, so it does this, and then since this is true, it doesn't even go to the else. So we'll enter another one. Sorry, it's 7. I guess your number. And I'm not gonna go through the third case, but if you don't trust me, you could definitely do that. Um, independent, basically if statements. This isn't really like conventional topic to teach, but this is useful for some people because I really want this channel to be very beginner friendly. Because I remember when I was trying to learn how to code, the ice between you and kind of programming is like very hard to, break because it's like so many resources with so much text out there. So yeah. Anyways, let's say I have two variables. I'm gonna make a equal to b and a equal to 5 and b equal to 7. And basically, independent if statements won't clash. So if one deems true, the other will still like check for the condition. And I know this may be obvious, but like just so everyone is clear. Okay, so basically what I did here, I created two variables, a equals 5, b equals 7, and if a equals to 5, then print a equals to 5. If b equals to 6, print b equals to after a b equals to 7, b equals to 7. And yeah, these both will obviously print because we know they're both true statements. But kind of the point I wanted to show you is some mistakes I've seen programmers make. Instead of else over here, they write they add the L, so it's elif. Did I do else if last time? Oh no, it wouldn't have run this Python 3. So yeah, some people write elif, and since this is true, the second one won't run. And either way, you're kind of making this tree of statements, but really these two statements aren't even related. So don't make that mistake. Just kind of programming is, I would say three things. I'd say yes, it's syntax, but I think programming is 10% syntax, and I'd say the 45% is logic, 45% is just well, why did I say 45? Like 90% logic, 10% syntax. So yeah, it's about the logic behind your code. You should be able to say your code in English so you know what's going on. And that's really a sign of a programmer in control, not writing spaghetti code. Ah, spaghetti code. Yes, we'll talk about it one day. Anyways, what else is there? So and or. Let's say you want to test for two conditions. Um, or yeah, test for two conditions, or test if two conditions are true at the same time, or test if one is true out of two. So here's what I mean by that. If a equals 5 and b equals, see, it's really nice Python reads out like English, so it's really easy to explain. So this is basically doing exactly what you'd expect it to do. If a equals 5 and b equals 7, then print true. We'll say true. So yeah, we'll run this, and this will obviously be true because a equals to 5 and b equals to 7. But if I set b equal to 6, obviously nothing will print out because we haven't written an else over here. You should write an else, but like we know what's going on. So it won't run. But is it possible that I can check if I can make this run if only one of these conditions is true? And yes, indeed, you can. You just switch this with or. So if A is 5 or B is 6, so either or is true, then it will print out true. So yeah, that's pretty much it for if statements. We went through Boolean operators, um, greater than, less than. So just a quick recap of the Boolean operators. These are Boolean operators. So equals checks if it's equals, does not equal checks if it does not equal, um, less than checks if L is less than R, and hmm, and then greater than checks if L is greater than R. I'm just R is like just hypothetical variables or values, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't want to do any of those, at least just share. I'm still growing my channel. I hope you all stay safe and stay tuned for my next video. Thank you.